On December 17, 1903, at the edge of a North Carolina coastal dune, two men transformed the impossible into reality. Orville and Wilbur Wright stood ready to test their invention, the Wright Flyer, an aircraft built from wood and fabric that had defied centuries of skepticism. With the wind at their backs and the Atlantic horizon stretching before them, they initiated the most famous moment in human engineering. The crowd watched in silence as the machine lifted. 4 minutes and 22 seconds later, history changed forever. Before their flight, the Wright brothers spent years working in a bicycle shop in Dayton, Ohio. The mechanical precision they developed there became the foundation of their aviation breakthrough. Cycling taught them balance, control, and the importance of understanding how machines respond to human input. These lessons proved crucial when designing the delicate systems needed to keep a fragile aircraft aloft. The shop environment shaped their approach to engineering. Their solution to the flying problem lay in understanding aerodynamics through experimentation. Using a small homemade wind tunnel, the brothers collected precise data about airflow around wing shapes and propeller designs. This scientific approach gave them an edge over competitors who relied solely on intuition. By testing hundreds of wing profiles, they refined the control surfaces that would become the basis of all future aircraft design. The wind tunnel became their laboratory for discovery. From 1900 until their first powered flight, the brothers conducted extensive glider tests. These earlier experiments refined their understanding of lift and control in the air. Each glider flight brought them closer to mastering the fundamental challenge of keeping a heavy machine airborne. The lessons learned here directly informed the design of their powered aircraft. Success in gliders paved the way for powered flight. Charles Taylor, the brothers' mechanic, played a critical role in bringing the Wright Flyer to life. He built the lightweight engine that would power their aircraft, working closely with Orville during the construction process. His expertise in engine fabrication was essential, as the Wrights themselves had little experience with internal combustion engines. Without this engine, the dream of powered flight would have remained theoretical. The Wright Flyer I represented their first powered aircraft design. Though not the final version, it demonstrated the core principles of controlled flight. The brothers iterated rapidly, making adjustments to the wing structure and propulsion system based on their experimental findings. Each modification brought them closer to achieving sustained, controlled movement through the air. This prototype proved the viability of their concept. As the date approached, the brothers prepared meticulously for the first flight. They chose the Kill Devil Hills location for its soft sandy terrain, which would cushion the aircraft during landing. On the morning of December 17, 1903, they assembled their crew and gathered supplies for the historic attempt. The atmosphere crackled with anticipation as they readied their machine for the challenge ahead. Every detail mattered. Their first attempt at liftoff failed dramatically. The aircraft stalled shortly after takeoff, spiraling down into the dunes. The brothers quickly realized the engine was not providing enough thrust and the control surfaces needed refinement. This initial setback revealed critical flaws in their design that required urgent correction before another attempt could succeed. The failure was instructive, not discouraging. After addressing the engine issues and adjusting the control system, the brothers attempted again. This second flight covered roughly half a mile before the aircraft lost altitude and crashed. Still, it marked progress. The aircraft was now capable of sustained flight, even if imperfect. The perseverance shown here defined the Wright brothers' approach to aviation. It was a lesson in resilience. The third and most celebrated attempt occurred on December 17, 1903. With improved controls and a stronger engine, the Wright brothers launched the Wright Flyer toward the open sky. For 4 minutes and 22 seconds, the aircraft maintained controlled flight, covering nearly 2 miles. It was this moment that captured the world's imagination and validated decades of hard work. The crowd roared with joy. The success of the first flight sent shockwaves through the aviation community. News spread quickly, and the Wright brothers were soon recognized as the pioneers of powered flight. Their innovative three-axis control system became the standard for all future aircraft, a legacy that endures in every airplane built since. Other aviators studied their methods and incorporated their techniques into their own designs. More than a century later, the Wright brothers' achievement remains foundational to modern transportation. Their emphasis on control theory revolutionized aerospace engineering and enabled the development of commercial aviation. The principles they established continue to guide pilots and engineers worldwide. Their story reminds us that patience, experimentation, and mechanical skill can change the course of history. The first flight stands as a testament to human ingenuity. The winter of 1903 brought a unique atmosphere to the Outer Banks region of North Carolina. Here, long sand dunes stretched toward the Atlantic Ocean, forming what would become known as Kill Devil Hills. The terrain offered soft, yielding ground ideal for testing lightweight aircraft. Amidst this open landscape, two brothers prepared to attempt something unprecedented. Their journey began not in grand laboratories but in the windswept dunes where human flight had never been attempted. Orville and Wilbur Wright came from a family deeply rooted in mechanical craftsmanship. Their father operated a bicycle shop in Dayton, Ohio, and both sons spent years learning the intricacies of machines. Cycling taught them about balance, momentum, and the delicate art of steering. These lessons proved invaluable when they turned their attention to flight. While others focused on engine power, the Wright brothers understood that control was the true challenge. Their hands-on experience with vehicles gave them a unique perspective on stability and maneuverability. In their modest workshop, the Wright brothers constructed a small wind tunnel to study airflow. This device allowed them to measure lift and drag with precision. Unlike competitors relying solely on guesswork, they gathered empirical data about wing shapes and propeller efficiency. Their measurements revealed that traditional designs were inefficient. Through repeated trials, they refined their understanding of aerodynamics. This scientific approach distinguished their work from the trial-and-error methods of contemporaries. The wind tunnel became their laboratory, producing insights that would prove decisive. With refined knowledge comes practical application. The brothers designed their first aircraft, the Wright Flyer I, incorporating their new control principles. Built with spruce wood and muslin fabric, the frame was light yet strong enough to carry the engine. The wings featured curved surfaces optimized through their earlier experiments. Propellers were crafted from cardboard tubes wrapped in linen. Charles Taylor, their mechanic, collaborated closely with the brothers during construction. Together they assembled a machine that embodied their vision of controllable flight. The initial attempts at flight were fraught with difficulty. Early flights failed due to insufficient lift, poor control, and engine performance issues. The brothers faced countless setbacks, adjusting wing angles and propeller pitch repeatedly. Each failure provided valuable data. By late October 1903, they had learned to manage the aircraft's instability through their innovative control system. The process required patience and persistence. Despite skepticism from some observers, the brothers remained committed to perfecting their design. Their determination kept them working through obstacles that had stymped other aviators. On December 17, 1903, a clear morning greeted the Wright brothers at the dunes. The wind was steady, and the sand beneath their feet offered resistance. With the Wright Flyer I ready and Charles Taylor beside them, the decision was made to attempt the first powered flight. The aircraft roared to life, lifting off the ground for a brief but remarkable distance. 4 minutes later, the brothers landed safely, having achieved controlled, sustained flight. This moment marked the dawn of aviation. It transformed humanity's relationship with the skies. The second flight lasted slightly longer, covering nearly half a mile. The third attempt pushed the limits further, demonstrating the aircraft's potential. Even the fourth flight showed improvement in endurance. Each flight built confidence in the brothers' capabilities. They had solved the fundamental problem of flight, maintaining balance and direction. The data from their earlier experiments translated into real-world results. This sequence of successes convinced even skeptical witnesses of the reality of their achievement. The world was about to witness a revolution. Beyond the first flight, the brothers continued to refine their craft. They developed the Wright Flyer 2, capable of longer durations and more precise turns. The Flyer 3 represented a mature design, combining reliability with improved performance. These successive iterations demonstrated their commitment to perfection. The brothers' systematic approach, testing, analyzing, and iterating, became a model for future aviation development. Their innovations extended far beyond the initial flight. The principles they established remain foundational to all modern aircraft design. The true breakthrough lay not merely in achieving flight, but in controlling it. The Wright brothers pioneered a three-axis control system using wing warping. By twisting the wings, they could bank left or right. By tilting the nose, they could pitch up or down. This system allowed pilots to steer effectively without relying on rudders alone. Other aviators struggled with stability. The Wright brothers' solution made controlled flight possible. Their control system became the standard for all subsequent aircraft. It remains the basis of modern aircraft handling. Charles Taylor played an indispensable role throughout the project. As the brothers' chief mechanic, he engineered the aircraft's engine. Working in their Dayton shop, Taylor designed and built the power plant that drove the Flyer. His expertise complemented the brothers' aeronautical genius. Without a functional engine, the theoretical advances would have remained untested. Taylor's hands-on contribution ensured the aircraft could generate sufficient thrust. Their partnership exemplified collaboration between engineer and builder. The success of the first flight depended on this synergy. The legacy of the Wright brothers extends far beyond the first flight. Their achievement shattered myths about the impossibility of powered flight. It inspired generations of inventors and engineers worldwide. Modern aircraft still employ the three-axis control system they developed. Airports, navigation systems, and aviation safety protocols trace their lineage directly to this breakthrough. The brothers' perseverance and ingenuity opened doors that had seemed closed. Their story reminds us that innovation often begins with humble beginnings and relentless experimentation. The first flight at Kitty Hawk stands as one of humanity's most significant milestones. Two bicycle mechanics changed the course of history through dedication and scientific rigor. Their story is a testament to the power of focused inquiry and collaborative effort. Today, every time we board an airplane, we honor their pioneering spirit. If you enjoyed this exploration of aviation history, subscribe for more real mysteries and discoveries.